are worried about the madness that's going on in the world right now and the coronavirus and how you can make sure that you and your business weather the storm, then keep watching this video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about coronavirus. Now, I'm just going to say it, there are a lot of people out there right now that don't want to mention the word, the big C word, coronavirus, and I'm just going to say it because, you know, if you don't call things by their name, you're just increasing the fear aspect. So, coronavirus and your handmade business or your Etsy shop. A lot of Etsy shop owners out there are worrying, they are anxious and they are scared, and a lot of what they are saying, especially on social media, is coming from a place of fear, and I get it. As someone that suffers from anxiety themselves, specifically health anxieties, it has been a rough time. It has been a real rough time for me. And I can't imagine how bad it has been for you guys out there who are watching from all corners of the globe. And how bad, you know, specifically for each country it has been. And let's just all agree, it's been a little bit crazy this last month. It's been complete madness, a little bit crazy. And we are all trying to do what's best for ourselves and our families. Now guys, I'm just gonna go through some really rough kind of points that we can discuss as to things that I'm doing to corona-proof my business, so that when the haze has lifted, after the madness has stopped, we can hit the ground running and carry on with our thriving Etsy business. Now, a lot of you guys out there are trying to get yourselves sorted out and you're not even worrying about your business, and that's absolutely fine. A lot of this is all down to your personal circumstances. So I don't want you guys to forego your own health for the sake of your business, because you are the most important person. Your health is the most important, and the health of your families and loved ones as well. So don't ever think that I am saying put your business first, because I'm absolutely not. This is more to do with the business owners out there who are now sat back and thinking, oh God, now I have to think about what to do with my Etsy business whilst all this madness is going on. So basically, I have written a very rough list, first of all, of things to do in case the UK goes into lockdown. Now, I'm not going to say either which way. I'm just going to prep for it because we know it's a possibility by other countries in the world that have suffered quite badly with it. It seems that a lockdown is on the cards. And in my opinion, I kind of want to make the best of it, because you can't just sit there for 2 weeks not doing anything, just watching films and not really giving yourself a push, unless you are genuinely sick or genuinely just don't feel like it, in which case you do you. But I'm not going to waste those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long the lockdown is going to be if we have one. I'm more thinking along the lines of I could actually use that time for benefiting my business in some way. So let's have a look at that list. So obviously guys, if you are employed and you've been wanting to start an Etsy business, it would be an ideal time to do so, especially if you don't have to go into work. Now, a lot of you guys have to work from home, and I completely understand that. Obviously, you've got to make sure that your work is done first. But if you have any spare time, then by all means, start to think about developing your handmade business and your Etsy shop. You've been given the gift of time in a roundabout way. I mean, it could have been given to you under better circumstances, I completely agree, but you've been given the gift of time. So guys, if you don't know, I do have a 30 days to a kick butt Etsy shop workbook, which will be linked in the description box below. And I also have a video series that goes along with it. So be sure, if you are completely new at Etsy, work through that, and by the end of that you will have a set up Etsy shop ready to go. And it's all free, so by all means work through it. Even if you have an Etsy shop or you're just in the very beginning stages, still have a little work through it. There's still some good hints and tips in there, and basically we can transform your life basically in that short space of time. You can go from having no Etsy business to having an Etsy shop that is primed to make sales and could be making sales for you in that short 2, 3, 4 week time scale. So don't waste the time that you have. Look on the bright side, silver lining, glass half full, and let's work on an Etsy business together. If you already have an Etsy business, I would say to treat this time like that January slump that we all get after the madness of Christmas. In the January slump, we like to clean our workspaces, organize the files on our computer. We like to batch tasks. So we like to batch our packaging, make sure that all of our supplies are ordered and all the levels are all there and ready for us to take in those orders. We like to basically make sure that everything is ready for that rush of orders that will come. Now, I personally don't know how our Etsy orders are going to go in the lockdown. Mine personally have been going up quite considerably over the past week, and I don't know if that's because people are at home more. I'm assuming that is the reason why, but my orders have actually shot up. I can't really say because it is all down to how people's mindsets are around certain items, but I have seen things like bath and body makers suffer quite a lot. Now, I don't know if that's because people are scared to order face creams and things that you put on your body or something like that. I don't know. I can only assume that it's the thoughts and opinions of people about certain products that are affecting the Etsy market the way it is. So I sell jewellery. I've seen an uptick in sales. Please comment down below just to let me know if you've seen a downturn or an uptick in your sales. And let's just support each other through this really, really hard time. But when the haze does lift and when the madness stops, which it will at some point, you want your shop to be ready and raring to go. So why not work on your SEO? Why not go back and watch some of the amazing videos that I have on this channel to help you better your Etsy shop and therefore make more sales? Why not batch some orders? Like for me, for example, I'm going to be making chains for like 2-3 days. I'm just going to be purely making chains so that when I am making necklaces, the chains are already done. It's going to be so much easier than me having to physically open this, get some chain out and cut it manually myself. I can go through and I can batch it and just cut, move it, cut, move it, cut, move it, and then place them into chain length bags. So yeah, that's basically one of the things that I'm going to do. Is there anything that you can do? Let's say you knit scarves. Can you not just knit the basic pattern and then add things to it? Can you make sure that your yarn is all balled up nicely and sorted out into colours? Make sure that your needles are put into size or some kind of order. I'm not a knitter, so I don't really know. There must be something you can do in your Etsy shop. And the benefits of that is twofold. Number one, it just helps our Etsy shop progress. It just helps us to make sales and it helps us to get things out quickly. In a Etsy world right now where everyone is putting their shipping times and lead times up, you can keep yours the same if you want to because you've batched a lot of the items beforehand. The second thing is that it keeps us busy, and I have to say that a lot of us have been glued to our computer screens, our news website screens. We've been glued to the TV, radio, listening desperately for any updates on the virus. And I have to say, I personally don't think that's healthy. I just don't think that's very healthy, especially for us business people that are not only worrying about ourselves and our families, but also our business aspect as well. But just keep yourself busy. Make sure that you are treating this time as the January slump, as the time where sales do take a bit of a nosedive and you're kind of regrouping yourself, ready for sales to pick up again, usually about March, April time, May time, ready for the crazy busy season to begin again. Now, here are some suggestions that I personally have implemented in my shop in response to this whole pandemic. Feel free to take any of these, use them if you want to, don't use them if you don't want to, take what you will from this following list and leave the rest that don't benefit you very much, because this is just what I have done for my shop. In this time right now, there are a lot of people just taking, what other people say on social media as fact, putting that into their Etsy shop, and then wondering why the sales have slowed down. No, guys, you do you. You do what you think is best for your business. Don't take what anyone else says as fact. I'm going to tell you what I have done in my shop, just in the hopes that it will inspire you to take some kind of positive action in your own shop. So let's get into that list. The first thing I've done is I have increased lead times. Now, the reason I have done this is, number one, in case I get sick. Now, I am a bit of a hermit. I pretty much stay at home. When they said about the self-isolation, I kind of was thinking, I work from home. Like, I could quite easily go 2 weeks without leaving the house. I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but, you know, I could do it because I've got so much to do here. The second reason why is because obviously things are going to be slowed down. If your family members are at home, or you need to go out and care for an elderly family member or any other family members that fall ill, or you have to be there for your family at this difficult time, obviously lead times are going to go up. And another thing as well is that if your kids are going to be home with you, naturally it's going to increase the amount of time that you're having to spend away from your normal work day. So I have increased my lead times. Now they were 1 to 3 working days, now they're 2 to 4 working days. So not a great deal, but the great thing about it is that I can change it from my Etsy app on my phone at any time, so you do have that freedom to work with your lead times. The second thing is I've considered postponing international shipping. Now, I haven't as of yet. I've kept all of my international shipping exactly the same. But what I have done is that I have severely increased the shipping times. If you go onto your back end of your Etsy shop, go onto the settings tab and delivery, you can then go onto your delivery profiles and you can click the edit button and you can edit the delivery times for whatever shipping carriers and things that you use. I have put mine up quite considerably. So for example, my USA lead time used to be 6 to 15 working days. Now I've put it up to 25 to 30 working days, just to make sure that straight off the bat, when the customers are ordering and they see that little date that says should be delivered by this date, I make sure that it's basically really, really long, so that they kind of expect it to be longer than if I'd have just left it at 6 to 15 working days. So I would implore you to do that. Obviously, there are some countries like Italy and China that are worst affected. So I know for a fact, because I've contacted Royal Mail, that's just for UK-based people. You contact USPS or whoever you ship your parcels with. I would recommend either going online or contacting someone at your local post office to kind of give you an update. But they have said that parcels to Italy and China are severely delayed. But I like to err on the side of caution, and although they're saying that packages to other countries are operating at a little bit of a delay, but they're okay so far, I'd rather just put my delivery times up so that people know to expect it. And also, guys, don't forget that this is a worldwide thing. People do know that there is this issue. It's not like when Royal Mail goes on strike and you're sat there thinking, well, people from the US aren't going to know that, so how am I going to communicate that to my customers? This is a worldwide thing. So people do expect delays. And I've had customers contact me saying, will this be here in time for this date or that day? And I've said, sorry, I can't guarantee that. And they've been absolutely fine. So don't ever think that you're scared of disappointing your customers. The only way you're going to disappoint them is if you have your lead time at 1 working day, when as a matter of fact it's 4 working days, and you know, when you're not keeping up to date with the shipping delays and communicating that to your customer through your shipping profiles. That's when I think people get a little bit annoyed, because you're promising one thing and actually delivering another. The next thing I have done is that I've put a little update in my shop header. I've put it in the message that automatically gets sent to buyers when they order something, and I've put something along the lines of, please note, in response to the coronavirus pandemic, there are going to be some shipping delays. Unfortunately, this is completely out of our control, and I hope that you can have patience in this difficult time. Something along the lines of that. And I've put that pretty much everywhere. You can even put it at the bottom of your descriptions as well if you wanted to. You can even make a image to put in your Etsy image slots. However, the majority of shops I've seen have put it in the message that buyers get when they order something and their shop announcement, and they can put it in the frequently asked questions as well. I have seen a few shop owners do that. So it's just worth putting something up like that, that, you know, makes people just aware that there are going to be some delays. The last thing I would do is on a business level and a personal level as well, but I would make sure to make a list of things you can do in case you are quarantined or in case of a lockdown. Now, although right now a lot of people are saying the prospect of not having to go to work for 2 weeks is fantastic, some people are just okay with chilling out at home and not really doing a lot. Me, on the other hand, I would go stir crazy within 2-3 days. So make a list of things you can do at home. Now, in my own personal life, it's come at a bit of a good stage really, because we're just in the process of redoing our garden. We've just knocked down like a conservatory sunroom a couple of days ago, so we're just putting all that stuff in the skip kind of thing. So it's actually come at a really good time because there's a load of house stuff that we can be getting on with. I mean, we're struggling for time to do it anyway. But as well as that, I have made a big old list of all the things that I can do in case of quarantine, because people that suffer with anxiety, I feel like some of them need to be kept busy. And if you're sat there with a blank desk looking for things to do, it's gonna put stress on you. It's gonna make that decision fatigue really, really bad. So I would recommend to write a list of things to do and just treat it like a general to-do list. It's not a in case of a zombie apocalypse list. It's just a pure list of, you know, things to do at the weekend, or if we do go on lockdown, or if you do get quarantined. Don't, you know, put this big headline of coronavirus list, because that's just going to stress you out. Just literally have a list of things that you can be getting on with at home. You don't need to go out. And if you need to order things, like for example, with our garden, we have to order some edging from Amazon. So I've just made sure just to order that, just to get it in, so that we have something here to do. And I'd recommend you do the same. If there's any small things that you have to do around the house or something like that, start to order or go and get the supplies. And now obviously that does depend on what country you live in. If you are on lockdown and you're not allowed to go out to the shops, then obviously don't. I don't know how it's working with like Amazon Prime and things like that. I don't know if that's still working or going. But certainly in the UK right now, as of recording this, we can still order things online and things like that. So make sure to have a list and all the things you need to get on and do the things that you have to do. Now, off the back of that, just off record, a couple of videos ago, I did a how I manage my finances as a full-time Etsy shop business owner. And I kind of went through how I separate my finances into pots and things like that. Now, in light of this, I am unsure as to how this whole pandemic is going to affect my business, because we've never really had something like this before, have we? Like we've never had a worldwide health issue as big as this. I could be wrong, but obviously in my lifetime, I've never had something like this. So in my opinion, I'm only controlling the things that I can control. I'm not trying to control whether I'm getting sales in, whether I'm getting views or something like that. And I've seen a lot of people on the Etsy group saying, my views are down. Are yours down? Yes, mine's down. And I don't really know what good that does, because although it makes you go, yes, I'm not alone, after you've kind of read that comment, you kind of think, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to do, because if their shop's down and my shop's down and her shop's down and his shop's down, what am I going to do? And it doesn't really do any good. So I recommend only controlling the things that you can control, and one of those things is how you spend. Now, I'm not a financial expert whatsoever, but you guys really seem to enjoy that how I manage my finances video. So my suggestion for that is that I've always had an emergency fund, and every single week after I pay myself, I always put some money by. And I was saying before that I was saving up for an investment flat, and I have to say right now, as I'm recording this, I've stopped that. And I've literally put all the money from my savings pots into my emergency fund, just in case something goes wrong. Now, I would always recommend you guys to have at least 2 to 3 months operating expenses for your business put by, so that you can carry on trading as normal. Now, I know that for a lot of you guys out there, that this isn't a reality, and what I would say for you guys is to have a look at your business expenses and see if you can slim them down. Now, this could be as easy as just unsubscribing to something that's costing you £20 a month, £40 a month, £10 a month, something like that. And you can resubscribe after all this is done. It's not like a be all and end all. Once you've cancelled it, that's it for life, because you can obviously go back and resubscribe again. But really have a look at your business finances and just see whether or not you can slim them down in any way, shape or form. Now, I have unsubscribed to a few things, just little things that make my life easier, that save my time, but as I can't really go out, then I have that time to do what I want to. So I've saved myself a month's worth of social media scheduling because I can do it myself maybe. So just use that as an example and see if there's any way you can slim down your business finances. And this does go for your personal life as well. If there's anything that you are currently saving up for, like again, for example, me and Ash were saving up for a holiday. As of now, I've stopped that. I'm just going to put it purely in my emergency fund to build that up to a place that I can operate my business for 6 months without having any money coming in, which I know is a little bit over the top. But I do find that it makes me feel better knowing that that money is there. And, you know, when we come out of the end of this, I then have a nice little emergency pot ready and waiting for me. Please stay safe out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, be sensible, make sure to be doing all the things that your local government is telling you to do. And just make sure to be healthy, look after each other. This is a time right now that it seems like it's every man for himself, and it's a little bit sad. It's making me a little bit lose faith in humanity and humankind. But I have seen some real acts of kindness being done. If you guys are struggling with the whole anxiety aspect of things, then what I would say for you to do, which is what I have done, is that I've stopped watching the news. I've stopped going onto Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those types of places. I've completely stopped looking at the news, and I've actually told a family member to update me if there's anything really important. But for my own mental well-being, I don't need to be bombarded with negativity every single day, because who's that going to help? It's not going to help anyone. So just use that little bit of advice as to how you will. But just stay healthy out there, guys. Stay safe. And here's to coming out the other end a better person with a better business. And we can look back on this and say, it was tough, but we got through it, and look at us now. We are better for the experience, hopefully. So guys, I shall see you in the next video, and have a fantastic week. Bye.